Okay, so once we know once we know this is the way we can declare array with the size, then you need to know another format which still can give the size of array, but also give the initial value for each element. Okay, so in this way, okay, basically the format will be something like this. Okay, the still we declare with array with data type, but here you're using the curly braces with the actual value you want to assign. Okay, at this point, you implicitly, okay, you give the size. For example, the grade int. Okay, in here you just give first the element is 0, second is 1, third is 2, last is 9. So basically from here to there is 10 elements, right? So it's equal to int grade equal to new int 10, right? So it's very similar, but here you need a one more step, which you give every element, right? You give every element with the value, okay? But in this one, they just using one step to initial size and give the value for each element, okay? But what about we didn't give the value? We're using this format. Is there any value for every element? Give you 5 seconds. Okay, think about it. If I didn't give any value, you just initialize an array. Okay, for example, I give the array something like this. Okay, there's 5 elements. Is this in this way? The answer is no. Once you declare a value, they will reserve and assign the default value to each element. Okay, and if it's a number, they will assign as 0. Okay, so it's 0, which means it's int, they will be the 0. Okay, double, they will be the 0.0. Okay, but if you have something like a class, like string, like scanner, they are the class. So the class default value will be the none. Okay, so this could be something like this. Okay, okay, so give you like 1 minute, yeah, then you just tell me which would be the answer. Okay, so which of the following is the correct way to instantiate an array of integer type that can store 20 different values? Okay, so let's do this one very quickly. Okay, again, how to do to initialize. Okay, basically there's 2 steps, right? Also, we can combine them to 1 step. So basically, if using the 1 step, a 2 step, first declare, right? How to declare? So declare is data type bracket, right, with array name, right? The second is instantiate, okay? How? Basically, you assign new with data type with a size, right? So basically, you just assign this part to there. They can combine together, which is two together. Okay, so this is a one. This is a combined with one. Okay, so in this question, they ask you first they need to be the integer. Second, it should declare with 20 different value. Okay, so which will be the size will be 20, right? So let's say this one. Okay, there's none of this one and this one, right? So this is not correct. How about this one? This is initial. Okay, the same data type with the size 19. Okay, we need 20, so this is not correct. Okay, so this is double. This is not correct. Okay, when we declare, we're using the data type no value. Okay, so this one should be right. Okay, so this have to switch and change it to the okay. Okay, right. So once we know how to access different elements of array, okay, how to access to to assign the value individually, not just every time you need to declare the one and using one line to declare all the values. How to declare and how to initialize different elements of array by one step. Okay, so this is a format. The format we're using, okay, first we're just using the array name with expression. Okay, this expression should be should return with int. Okay, you still remember for the array there's something we call this zero base index, right? So zero base index will help us to get the element we want. So as we said, if the index is 0, which is the first element, 1 second, 2 third, right? So in this one, okay, for a grade, which we declare the grade already, right? If it's 0, which we will return the first element. If it's 1, return the second. If you still remember, there's a one property, okay, the variable we call this length. So length, the grid, that length, which will return the size of this actual array. Okay, so still remember what's the actual array? So I think this one, the actual size of array is 10. Okay, so this will return 10 minus 1, which is the last element, right? So for the same example, if I create the size over here is 6, okay? So basically there's 6 elements, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. But index will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's a size 6 minus 1, okay? Because we want to make sure we don't want hard code. So we're using the array, okay? We're using the method or using a variable to help you to return the size of array. Okay, basically you don't have to do anything to remember what's the size of array. The only thing you do just using the variable length. Okay, so when you know how to access each element, okay, you should be easy to access them and assign the value. Okay, if you want to assign the first element with the value 79, okay, the only thing you need to do, you're just using the assign value and assign to put the value into the element. Okay, also you can retrieve this value. Okay, so how to retrieve? You just call just using the index into the bracket, and this value will assign to the x. Okay, so there's something you have to remember and be aware. Okay, first, the value you assign the value you assign to the element, first this value had to be consistency with the data type of the array. Okay, since we know this grid, the data type is int, so the only int you can assign them. Another thing is, because the index there always be smaller than the size, right? For example, the size, if we say size is 10, the index only can access is from 0 to 9. Okay, if you give the value which is 10, okay, for example, here you give the 10, system will tell you I cannot find this index. Okay, they will say it's out of index. Okay, because for this array we only gave the size is 10 and the index from 0 to 9. If you call a 10, basically they don't know that, because there's no index 10. Okay, so this gives the example. Okay, what this mean about out of bound. So out of a bound, for this one, we give the array. In this array, first we know it only can store the string. Okay, the second we know only can store 6 strings there. Okay, so right now we gave the 5 elements. Okay, what's 5 elements? So basically we still have one element is empty, right? What's the value for that one? It's none, right? Because we said the default value, if it's a class, will return none, right? So basically this is a string, which is a class, okay, will return none. Then we know the string over there. If we try to call the index 6, okay, so basically this string array, there's no index 6, right? There's no 6, so they will tell you wrong. Okay, so otherwise you can do anything is from this index from 0 to 5. Okay, so just give you 1 minute, then you just do this one, then let me know what your answer, and I will go step, each of them step by step.